workshop. We're going to be looking at Badlands this week, but also since it is the first episode, we're also going to look at just a couple of practice methods that I wanted to talk about, because while I think these videos will be very helpful, they're not a substitute for practice at the end of the day, and the only way you're going to get really good rollouts is to practice. But I can help you with that as well, because I'm a keen little nerd and I've spent time practicing these rollouts. So I'm just going to talk about a few things that I do when I'm not so much anymore, but when I used to practice rollouts. It's a couple of binds. Basically, I have X bound to MP restart game immediate 1. So basically, whenever I'm pressing X, the game instantly restarts. So say I do my first jump and I completely fuck it up, I can just press X and I'm instantly back in spawn. And because obviously you need the heal, I also have C bound to, with SV cheats 1 enabled, I have my C key bound to hurt me minus 175, which obviously it simulates the medic. So if I press X, it restarts, I press C, and then just like that I have like regular HP and I can go for the rollout like normal. So as you see, I'm jumping, I have like 164, something like that, as I do the first jump, which pretty accurately simulates a medic. So yeah, and on the same note, obviously if you're doing this on a match server, you want to have Archon in front of there, and if you have TF tree, you'll have to do a command that's called, I wrote it down, hang on, Archon TF true, oh god, Archon TF true tournament underscore insecure 1. So that basically, that command lets you do SV cheats on a regular match server. And the reason I say that, because obviously it sounds more complicated, like why would you practice this on a match server? But I've actually found that really, if you want to practice rollouts, you should practice them on a match server, because with particular jumps, not so much the ones I'm covering today, that doesn't really apply to Badlands too much, but with particular jumps, like that kind of jump where you're crouching on it, it really does make a difference if you're on a local server, because basically, obviously, everything's a lot sharper on a local server. It's a lot easier. Like, you might find if you only practice on local servers, and then you go to a match server, that you really struggle to do the jumps the same way. So if you can, you should always practice your jumps on a match server, like with 40 ping, 30 ping, something like that, rather than with the 0 ping of a listen server. Yep. Okay, so basically for the first half of this, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go into a demo of my rollout. I recorded it separate from my match so that it would be close to perfect. It's not actually perfect. It's probably not. It's not as fast as it can be done. But it's close enough, and it's going to be close enough to give you guys the gist of what I wanted to give you the gist of today. So yeah, one other thing, just before I say this, going back to the whole practice method thing, you really should, when practicing these jumps, you shouldn't practice them in isolation. And by that I mean, you should not just practice, say you're really struggling with the stair jump, you really shouldn't just practice the stair jump by itself, and there's a good reason for that. If you only practice the stair jump, then basically you might find that when you then try to do the rollout as a whole, suddenly you might find that suddenly you, hang on, I'm just checking something out. Okay, sorry about that. You might find that you can't do the jump the same way you practiced it, because from the first jump you have a different landing spot to where you're used to, and that's not good. Now, I'm told that I have some issues with my in-game capture, so I'm just going to quickly fix that for you all, guys. This is the first one I've done. I don't want the webcam enabled, just because it's going on YouTube, and I don't really want my face being all over YouTube. And I'm just going to quickly disable Steam sounds. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly do that. It's not going as smoothly as I would have hoped, but my hopes were ambitious, so that's the way that goes. Jesus Christ, guys. Can you just stop messaging me? Shut the fuck up. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, guys. You didn't miss anything. I wasn't actually showing anything on screen at that moment. So anyway, yeah, don't practice jumps in isolation. That's the motto I'm getting at. Okay, so what we're going to do now is basically I'm going to look at this demo, and I'm just going to check everything's working actually to begin with for the first time, for the first run through. Okay, so you can see I have this S-Keys plugin installed. You ignore the S, basically. The plugin does not work very well. It doesn't work anywhere near as well as I'd want it to. And basically the S is... oh god, the messages. The S is a bug, basically. It shouldn't be there. So I'm not pressing S at any point on this rollout, so just pretend the S isn't there, essentially, okay? So I'm just going to quickly show you the rollout before I actually talk about it. So the jump from the wall to the main, up the stairs, clip off the ramp from the window, and then through the house and into there. Okay, so just in case you've never played TF2 before, I don't know what you're doing watching this, by the way, if you've never played TF2 before, but that's the rollout. That's the Badlands rollout, and that's the main rollout we're going to be discussing. There are alternatives, but you don't have to worry about those for now, and we will address those at the end. Okay, so now that was the interesting part. And you might have to bear with me here because I've been doing these jumps for years, and a lot of it's just become instinctual. Like I don't really think about the things I'm doing anymore, so I'm gonna have to kind of decipher just exactly what I'm doing as I talk about it. So I have the S keys thing to help you guys out, and I'm gonna watch it really slowly so that I can talk about it in detail. Okay, so the jump out of spawn. Obviously, this is the basic jump. This happens on every map. The only thing to worry about on Badlands is that you don't jump too high, because if you det the jump too high in your, if you det the sticky, sorry, too high in your jump, what's going to happen is you're going to clip the ceiling, and there's a little clipping on the ceiling. That means you can't go all the way to the door. So you see, I let myself drop a little bit, and then I'm detting. And again, remember that the S on the S keys display is not accurate. Okay, so for this jump, there's a common misconception here that it's preference whether you jump from the wall or from the floor. And that's a complete fallacy. It's actually miles better to do the jump off the wall. And the reason for that is because when you're doing rollouts, you constantly want to be thinking about minimizing the time you spend walking. And the way you do that on the first jump is by doing the jump off the wall. Because if you don't, it means you have to walk out of spawn. Because you can't do the floor jump from in spawn, because obviously there's a ceiling. So you have to walk out of spawn, jump over the sticky, and then detonate. But if you do the jump from the wall, then you save some walking time, and the jump itself is actually more effective, because you see the sticky placement I'm using, it's roughly head height, not exactly head height, but close enough. I'm not sure if the third person work here. Yeah, okay, so third person works. You can see it's roughly head height, not the best angle. But yeah, you can see it's just above my head. Like, that's the ideal sticky placement, because basically that way you get, as well as forward thrust, you also get, like, you get no upwards thrust with your jump, which means that all of your velocity is going into moving forwards. And because you want to land lower, it also gives you an arc in your jump so that you actually curve into main without having to press S. Because if you're pressing S, then obviously you're not getting the most out of your jump. So for this first jump, yeah, I'm just going to take a look and look at the det timing basically. So I'm going to det the sticky really early into the jump. Just going to speed things up a little bit here. So you see how early I detted the sticky in that jump? Basically, that means that I'm going to get the optimum push from the sticky. If you det it later with a sticky of that placement, then you're not going to clear the floor over here. So so that's the basics for the first jump. If there's something unclear about what I said there, then you can talk to me about that afterwards. Like I say, I do have to kind of think about this stuff a lot, because a lot of it's become instinctual. But the reason why this jump off the wall is so good as well is because it guarantees you're going to land here. Like, you see where I'm in main right now? Again, just going to switch back to third person. I'm there in main. That's where I land. And that's because I've done this jump off the wall, because I have so much like forward momentum and no upwards momentum. It means I can land right in that doorway rather than landing just in front of the doorway. And like I said before, it's all about minimizing the amount of time you spend walking. Okay, so this second jump, this is the one that most people have problems with. I don't think many people will struggle with that first jump if you practice it a lot. It takes a little bit of to get used to the sticky placement and the det timing, but mostly that comes down to practice. And really, it's not that difficult a jump comparatively. It's probably the easiest jump of this rollout. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I'm just going to let you guys ask questions about it later if there's something you don't understand. But this second jump, this is where people seem to come into trouble. So let me begin by just saying that the sticky placement here, it's kind of down to choice, but there are some things that you need to be aware of. Like, you don't have to put the sticky exactly where I've put it, but this is just where I like to put it. But there are some things to be aware of. Basically, I put it far back because what that means is I can do like a slightly later det, which means I can then be pushed forward faster. And I'm aware I haven't explained that very well, so I'm just going to quickly watch it so I can kind of think about it to myself as I do. I might rewind in the demo to take another look at this. You see I jump here, and then I det slightly later, so that gives me a lot more forward push. And we're just going to go back a bit because, yeah, I'm not satisfied with that explanation whatsoever. So we'll just revert the demo back a little bit, and we'll take a look. This is kind of what I was worried about because I've done these jumps so often for so long that it takes a little bit of thinking about. Right. This is why I originally wanted to do it on YouTube, so I wouldn't have to like bore you all with my thinking process. Okay, let's slow it right fucking down. So you see, I'm jumping, I'm getting in the air, I'm hitting roughly the... Oh, what the fuck? Okay, so you see the position that's actually surprising even me. I'm walking all the way over the sticky, and then I'm jumping and detting at almost at the same time. I'm detting just slightly after the jump, which basically means I'm getting a lot of forward momentum, and... oh god, this is such a horrible explanation. Holy crap. Wow. Alright, let's just watch it in normal speed. Okay, so I'm walking just in front of the sticky, I'm jumping, and then I'm detonating. And the crucial part of this jump is the fact that you obviously want to miss the ceiling. The way that I go about that is by, once again, rewinding the demo, because I had it too fast. Yeah, I was really worried coming into this jump, because it's a really difficult jump to explain. Okay, so one more time, just going to clear my head, and here we go. Okay, well you can see the rough idea. I guess the best way I'm going to approach talking about this jump is with the questions later on, because it is a very difficult jump to explain. I apologise for my fumblings over it like a bit of a moron. Okay, so we're just going to move on for now, and we're going to look at this second phase of the jump, because this is actually a two-phase jump. You have the first part of the jump where you place the sticky and obviously you detonate. There's a very important thing about the second element of this jump that a lot of people miss, and that's the ramp slide. I've talked about trying to get the velocity in the jump, but there's something else about this ramp slide that a lot of people don't seem to realise, and that's as you're approaching it, like pay attention to this S-keys. Like I'm crouching the whole way because I want the momentum, but then just as I'm coming to the skip here, like you'll notice, just as I'm approaching it, I release crouch, and what that enables me to do is I get the optimum slide. Like I get enough slide that I can go around this corner, though arguably this is the part of the jump of this particular rollout in this demo. This is the least satisfactory jump probably of the demo, because I do clip the wall just off to my left, but what I don't do is I don't hit the ceiling above me or these railings, because if you hold crouch on this jump, then what happens is you actually hit these railings, and obviously that's going to completely crap up your jump. It's not ideal in any way. Okay, so obviously I didn't land optimum for this one. I wanted to land about here. I landed back here, so I lost myself probably about a quarter of a second on that one, but that's okay. Like the technique was correct, I just didn't quite hit the strafe off to the left, but you can kind of imagine how it would have looked. Okay, so this jump, this is again, it's one of those that comes down to practice. The sticky placement, it's not as subjective as the second jump that I talked about. The sticky placement, you have to be pretty good with the sticky placement here. You see, you can gauge it by this this plank here. You want it in the bottom left of the plank, and basically here you walk out of the window roughly straight. Like you can kind of glide, you can kind of hug the wall as you do. You hug the wall, but the key part of this jump is basically the way you're facing. You want to be strafing and facing this way as you're doing the jump. You see how as I'm dropping, I'm turning to the right, wow, okay, I'm not actually strafing. I thought I was strafing right there. Okay, so that makes it even easier for you guys. You don't actually have to strafe. All you have to do is look in the right direction and make sure the sticky is kind of on your ass, if you know what I mean. You have that sticky on your ass, it's going to push you this way, and immediately I'm pressing the A, and I'm getting the strafe. So I'm going forward, I'm holding A, and now I'm strafing my mouse. I'm turning my mouse to the left. I'm going to land... So I'm going to land in the doorway. I do a little hop here. Now this is a weird thing. I don't really know about this hop, because if I turn on CL show pause, which this is basically something that tells you your momentum, it's not something I use. The demo velocity, like the maximum velocity for walk speed and when you're jumping, it's actually is it 260? I'm not sure what it is, but either way, I checked this earlier. Like as I'm strafing and jumping around this corner, I'm actually like my velocity is going up like a lot higher than the standard rate. The standard rate's 280. Now I don't know if that's actually making any difference. I don't understand source, but that's a fun fact about it. I don't really know if it's relevant, so don't take my word for that one. It might be completely irrelevant, but I mainly do it out of habit. I don't do it to gain any speed, but yeah, just in case it does make a difference, that I'm just going to tell you that. But I really don't know if it makes any difference. Okay, so that's the end of the series. That's the end of the jumps. But there's an important thing going on this medkit. Like, I reached the medkit at 9:47. For me, I have standards. Basically, when I reach this medkit, there's particular things going through my mind. And I'm just going to talk about those a little bit now, before I go back over anything, or before I talk about the variations of this rollout. I've titled it in my little, I've got a little note here so that I don't forget to talk about this. It's called the medkit split. So basically, you can do two things from here. You can either walk forward, like that way, to go out of the house, or you can go right. And basically, my decision here is based on the time I hit the medkit. If I hit the medkit on 9:47, then I'm going to go out this way every time. And if I hit it on 9:46, then I'm going to go out of here probably most times. If it's in the upper part of 9:46, I'll go out here. The lower part, I'll probably go this way. And there's a reason for this, basically, that I'm going to try and explain to you right now. Basically, I'm going to go onto a server now actually to talk about this, because I'm not going to be able to talk about it from the demo. So I'm going to jump back onto a listen server. And I'm going to talk about that really briefly. And I'll probably go back over some of the jumps as well, because I wasn't really able to talk about them as effectively from the demo as I would have liked to. Like, as you saw on that second jump, I really wasn't able to talk about them in the way I would have liked to, just because the demo didn't really give me that angle. I couldn't really show you the sticky placement properly. My keyboard is bugging out. I don't know what's going on. I'm floating away. Please stop. Please stop. What's going on? Why is it doing this? Right, okay. Okay, I don't know how to stop it from doing this. I don't even know what it's doing. Oh my god. Technical difficulties. Someone help me. Someone kill me. Someone bail me out of this atrocity. Oh my word. This is getting edited out. Yeah, okay, so the YouTube VOD's definitely going to be out not tonight, because it's going to need some fucking editing. This is just a train wreck so far. Right. I'm going to look at chat. I said I wouldn't look at chat, but anyone know how to fix this? Anyone at all know how to fix this problem? I've had this happen to me before, but normally I just press the direction that I'm going in, like on my keyboard. I press it and it stops, but no such luck. No, it's not fixed. I'm just holding the opposite direction. Like, it's weird. What's going on? It's not even like, I'm not even going, like, I'm not strafing left, and I'm not walking forward. I'm going diagonally forward left. Okay, I'm just going to, like, go out of here and restart the server, because I don't know what the fuck to do. Oh my word. Yeah, by the way, this is the first episode of this thing. I'm going to do one for all the maps, so I really appreciate your guys' feedback on what, like, methods are helpful to you and what are not so helpful, because for me explaining this to you, like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, like, I know what I'm saying. Like, I obviously know the things that I'm saying to you already, so if you're not understanding something or a particular method, like looking at the demo or what I'm about to do here isn't helping you, then please tell me and I'll adjust the methodology for the next one. Move left. Yes, baby. Thank you to my boy. I lost your fucking name already. YD. I don't even know who you are. YD. Thank you. Okay. So, we're talking about this medkit split, okay? Nope, it's happening again. What the fuck is going on? I really don't understand what's going on right now. How this keeps happening. I'm just going to not go in no clip. It seems when I go in no clip, it doesn't like no clip. Okay. So we get to this medkit. If we get to this medkit on 46 plus, basically this means something. Basically it means when we come here, it means we're probably faster than the other demo, because in general 46 is a good time. If you're 46, like a high end of 46, it means you're faster than another house demo. That's the rule I tend to make for myself. It's not always accurate, but in my experience, it's 99% of the time it means you're faster than the other demo, or at least the same speed. So basically, it means you're not going to get shanked by this guy here, and it means you can do damage to him if he is there. And it also means the balcony demo isn't going to do too much to you. He might clip you, but that's okay. Like, you can take a little clipping. But it also means something else. It means basically, if the demo does come from house, you can challenge him, you can put 2 stickies on him, and you still have time to put the sticky here. Because this is an important spot to sticky, because this is where a scout's going to jump up. Not sure the exact timing. I think 43, like roughly 43, a scout will be here, jumping up. So that means you can still catch him. And if you're really fast, this is only really if you're 47. If you get a 47 time on the medkit, it means you can do that. And then you can also come here and you can put one over there and catch the scout there. the timing on this choke, it's roughly 41. Like, a scout will be here on roughly 41. So by doing a good rollout, hitting the kit on 47, it means you can come out of house, you can defeat the demo here, but you can force him back and take the control of the point. You can deny that scout, and then you can tag that scout as well. So that's why I do this. That's why I talk about this medkit split, because the time you make your rollout really makes a big difference to how much damage you can do on the mid, and really decides whether it's worth being here. Because obviously this is a risky position, like playing on this area, because it means like with gunboats now, or gunboats forever if you're American, like you have this gunboat soldier coming from here a lot. So it's kind of, you're exposing yourself. So you have to be fast to make it worth your while, because if you're not doing damage early by taking this position, or you're not locking people out, then there's no point to take that risk. Obviously, if you go balcony, it means you're probably slow. I mean, you might go balcony anyway. It might be part of like a specific strat your team is running to go balcony. It might not, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, so if you're going balcony, I'm not going to talk too much about balcony, because obviously I think people, like, balcony is pretty straightforward. Like, the first thing I do when I come to balcony personally is I tag there just to check if the demo is there or not, because obviously if you're fast, like, not all demos will abide by the rule I just described, so it might be you come here and you don't actually see the demo, like, coming here, or if he is fast you won't see him, so it means you can tag him, or you can at least find out if he's there or not. And then after that, really from here, you're a bit less flexible with what you can do, because you're so far back. Generally, you can then, like, even if you're slow, you can, like, you only put one sticky over here, whereas if you're fast, I would probably put two. So then I would generally put my second sticky over onto the rock. I mean, this is kind of, we're getting to, like, subjectives here again. Like, you don't have to do this stuff. This isn't, like, the things that all demo men do. Whereas up till now, I think what I've described to you is probably the best thing you could hope to do. But here, it's a more passive role. It's a bit less, you know, flexible. You're just kind of spamming. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about this. What I want to talk about now is the alternative rollouts that you can do on this map, and I'm going to tell you why either you should do them or why I personally think you should not do them. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to pull them off on here, because I am lagging quite a lot with the stream. Okay, so the first one, which I get asked about this a lot, is the extremer rollout, which is basically where in spawn you put a sticky behind you and you dep before the timer hits and you strafe to main. In theory, it saves you a second. It saves you 2 seconds. I can test that personally, and I don't really agree. And the reason I don't think it saves you as much time as you think it saves you is with this first jump, the one I described earlier. Like, do you see how much faster I get to main than when I do it like this? Like, the jump itself is a lot faster, and plus I'm landing here. Like, maybe you can perfect that, maybe not, but either way, the actual velocity you get from the jump is a lot more. And assuming you land closer, it means you're not saving the full second, or second and a half, whatever it is, that you think you're saving. So maybe in theory, this extremer rollout, as it's been titled, is a tiny bit faster. But remember that I also said this first jump is the easiest jump of them all. So if you keep in mind that even the best demos, like all the best demos, the best rollout demos, whoever you think it is, Banny, whoever, they all fuck up this jump sometimes. So I think when you then throw into the equation the fact that you can fuck up the first jump really easily, like when you turn the first jump into one of the hardest jumps, like the risk reward, I don't think the time you save justifies the risk you take, because you save literally about half a second, if that. Like, if you can perfect this jump, I really don't know if you can perfect it. Like, I really don't know if you can hit the same level. Like, I really don't know if you can reach main the same way. Like, just about maybe. Like, I'm landing there, landing here instead. Doesn't make that much difference, but either way, I don't really think it justifies the risk you take. Because if you fuck that jump up, it's really bad. Like, just for example, like, I'll fuck the jump up now on purpose. Not on purpose. Okay, so I fucked the jump up, I didn't make it, and now I'm here. So now I've completely ballsed it up. Whereas with this jump that I'm talking about doing, really, like, pretty much gonna hit it every time. Like, once you get this jump, you've pretty much got it. The only time you'll fuck it up is if you put the sticky too high, but in time you will learn to see, like, okay, that sticky's too high. Okay, the sticky's not too high. Okay. Like, sometimes, because say, okay, back up a few paces. Sometimes with this Badlands jump, when you get it in spawn, you end up landing right here, and that can make placing the sticky really hard, because you can't move, and you just kind of have to shoot it. You see how my crosshair's nowhere near here, but that's where it's going, so that can make the sticky placement slightly hard. So say that I completely beef the sticky placement, and I just do that. That's the only time you're going to fuck up that jump. So if that does happen, then you just ignore it and you say, whatever, this time I'm doing it off the floor. But with this jump, I don't know, I don't think the risk pays off. Anyway, that's enough about that. I don't like that jump. If you master it, then good for you. You'll save half a second against your opponents. But maybe that's maybe even if you can perfect it beyond what I've just shown you, because I don't think you save any time with what I just showed you. Okay, so obviously there's other variations. This is quite an archaic one. You don't really see this anymore with demos going to choke. I don't even know the best way of doing it, whether it's with 2 stickies or 1 sticky, but don't do it. Just don't do this rollout. This is a crutch for bad demos, for bad rollouts. If you're going to choke, then I don't know why you would do this. I don't know why anyone does this. I know some people still do, but there's absolutely no point to it. The maximum speed you can get, like the speed to mid, I don't know the exact timing, but I know you're really slow. Like compared to a house demo, you can't get aggressive on the point with it. All you can do is play passive. Like you can do the exact same thing with this rollout, except you can be fast the guy over there. So that's a really bad rollout to take, and I completely advise against it. You should just stick to learning this one, because getting the basics of this one, even doing a bad rollout like a 45 on the medkit, which is a bad rollout for my taste, you're still going to be faster than a choke demo. And you're still not going to be so slow that a gunboat soldier can fuck you up, like, if you don't want him to. Like, I'm talking about going on the point. That's when you can get fucked up by the gunboat soldier playing here. But with a 45 rollout and coming here, you can just sticky shithouse. Like, that's all you can do with choke. All you can do is sticky shithouse. So you can do that with a crappy rollout from house, and it's still much better because you're at least learning. Like, you're learning, like, with each time you do that rollout, you're improving it and getting better. So you're at least going to improve that, and in time you will be able to roll out faster. So that's why I say just forget choke, don't do choke. If you've ever rolled out choke in your life, just stop now, and whatever. And the one other main variant is obviously when you get here, instead of doing the window jump and going over here, you're just jumping to balcony. This is kind of, again, it's quite archaic. You don't really see people do this much anymore since taking the medkit and walking to balc became popular. But there is one reason why I would do this sometimes. I don't do it that much. But why you might do this is if you know your combo's playing a house strat, you might do this just to get, like if I was playing against me, for instance, like if I was someone like a demo with not very good rollouts, not naming names, and I was playing against me, I would try this rollout because it means I can get to balcony, which means I can guarantee damage on the demo coming from there, maybe even 2 stickies depending. And then, like, because obviously you're down in HP because you do that jump. You have roughly full HP when you do this jump, so then you're jumping around, and then you're weak. Not weak, but like tagged. So basically, if you do this jump, you have to go and claim this medkit later. So that's why I say I only do this if my combo's coming through house, because then I know that I'm going to be walking left, so I know that I can take the medkit. Whereas if my combo's going valley, it might be that they want me to join them over here. And it's not very flexible, basically. This rollout basically means you have to go here at some point, whereas if you just roll out through house and walk to balcony, you then have the flexibility. You can go back through house, or you can drop off the balcony. But you can't drop off the balcony if you do this. So that's kind of the reason why it's been abandoned. But I know some teams roll strats where they expect the demo to drop off, they expect the demo to walk through house. Like I see Numlock doing this quite a lot. I see Numlock going balcony, and then walking through the house, and it's like, based on the way his team plays, he knows he's going to walk through house before he's even done it. So I don't see why someone like Numlock wouldn't roll out to balcony this way and get that extra damage in early and then walk through the house and be full HP anyway. You lose nothing for it. So that's the only alternate rollout I really recommend doing. There is one more that I'm going to talk about just for interest's sake. I've done this a couple times, and it's worked maybe, of the 3 times I've done it in a game, it's probably worked twice. But basically here, you do this, and then you push under, and basically I can't remember the exact timing off the top of my head, but what you can do here is basically you beat the scout to valley and you beat the demo to balcony. So if the cards like kind of fold in your way, you can damage the demo on balcony, shoot the scout there, and back up. Like when I did this, I would have my combo coming valley, so I could then back up into the heals, but that's just kind of, don't do that. Like, I'm just kind of saying that for interest's sake, in case someone saw me do it once and wondered what it was all about, and then was angry I didn't mention it here. I don't really recommend it, it was just something I was experimenting with. Okay, I'm going to go back to this second jump, because I really didn't explain it very adequately at all. I'm still not exactly sure how to explain it, because it's a really weird jump. Like, practice is really the only... I know it's stupid, like, I'm going to teach you how to roll out on my workshop. Here you go, guys, all you got to do is practice. Okay, so I put my sticky roughly here. And the reason I do that is because I can then walk in front of it. I put a sticky far back so I can walk in front of it and det late. And by detting late, it means I get only like with this this horizontal momentum. Like by doing the late det, it means I'm going forward and not up. Like if I jump over the sticky and then det, it means I'm going to hit this. So you want a late det. But if you do if you put the sticky too close and you do a late det, like I put a sticky here and do a late det, then you end up sliding up here. You don't want to make any contact with these stairs, obviously. So like the sticky placement is quite important, but it is kind of subjective. Like you learn the balance of like the sticky placement with the timing of your det. That's something you have to learn. But like I can explain to you the principles of it here, and that's what I'm trying to do. You have to find the balance between your sticky placement and the timing of your det. So for me, because I'm putting the sticky here, I know that I walk over it, and then just as I'm walking over it, I jump and I det. You see what I mean? I wish I could have had S keys on for this, but hopefully you kind of see what I mean there, and hopefully I'm explaining it a bit better now. That was a bad one. I detted too early, I think. It's kind of hard to explain, so I'm going to return to chat now. Yeah, like I see someone saying they put their sticky a lot further back, which makes sense in a way, because then you're basically doing what I'm doing, like that. Like that's fine, like that's a fine way to do it. The reason I don't do that is because, like with my jump, I tend to be landing here, and if I put my sticky that far back, then I'm too close to it. Like I assume if you're putting a sticky further back, you're doing one of two things. It means you're either delaying your jump, so like say you're landing, like putting a sticky down, you're delaying your jump to wait so that you can actually det the sticky, or you're landing for like here, which means you have time to kind of walk into it. Like with where I land, if I put the sticky like really close to me, then it means either I'm going to lose time by having to walk over to it if it's back over here, or I'm going to have to wait for it to be primed and ready to det. So I've learned to put my sticky just here because it's the perfect place for where I land main. Like that's why I put my sticky there. It doesn't have to be there. It's up to you really. What's important to learn is the balance between where the sticky is and the timing of your det. It's like this is what I mean about practicing your jumps in isolation. Like you see how I can't actually do this jump very often by itself. It's because I've completely learned to do it in accordance with my first rollout. Like if I kind of visualize that I've just done my rollout and landed, it's like now I do it. Do you see what I mean? Right, anyway, enough of my kind of like inept explanations. I'm going to take questions now. If you have any questions about the things I've talked about, I really hope you have questions because I'm not satisfied with my explanation there. So please, by God, ask me some questions. But I'm also going to now look at some demos that I've been sent. I was sent demos by 2 people so far, and I'm going to take a look at them. I'm just going to quickly download them, as I did not get the chance to do that yet. And I'm going to be checking chat out in the meantime. Oh God, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Quartz. Yeah, that's another thing. Quartz brings up a good point. Okay, so what some people do on this jump here is they kind of go like this and they like hug against the wall. I can't do it because I've never ever practiced it that way. For me, when I tell people, like when I've gone on servers with people to try and help them learn to roll out, I've always said like I don't really like that because in general it's like this guy says, like what's saying, it slows you down. Like it makes the jump slower, so it's kind of, it's something I only really recommend if you've perfected all the other jumps but you still struggle with the stair jump. It's not something I've ever had to do, but it slows the jump down as a whole. Not by too much though, so if you really are struggling with the stair jump, it is something you can do to slow yourself down, to keep control and go like that. Like I really don't like it that much. It makes it easier, but you lose time. Like, but it might be a situation like with the extremer rollout where the sacrifice of time is worth it for consistency. I personally haven't found that, but if you're really struggling with this jump, then it is an option. Like it's much easier to do it that way, but you do lose time. You do lose a bit of time. Choice of melee on mid fight. I don't think so. No. Like, what is it? 10% that the pain train does. Like even on mid, like I don't think it makes that much difference. Like if you get rushed by a scout, if he meat shots you, he does 110 instead of 100. I don't really think that justifies not having the pain train, especially not like fumbling around. You don't want to be changing as a demo. You can't be fucking around changing your weapons just for a rollout. I don't like that at all. I think that's a kind of poor idea. Like what's gonna, like, at least once a game you're gonna find like, oh crap, I've got to change my weapon. I can't do a rollout properly. That kind of thing. So I really don't like. I'm really not too keen on that. I don't really. I've never really thought that the paint trade makes that much difference. Some people do, but I don't know. Not me personally. Oh my god. So many questions. Slow down. If I'm too fast on the stair jump, I don't have time to place and det the sticky before I walk out of the window. That happens to me a couple times. If that's happening to you, then I'm not sure. Let me just think about this. It's happened to me a couple of times. It basically means that I guess you're going too fast. If you do that, maybe you're too good at the jump, bro. You're simply going too fast. It's a bit of a strange one. It's a strange question because it's happened to me a couple of times, but only really a couple of times in my life. The thing to remember is if you're going that fast that you have to wait to place a sticky, you're not really losing time anyway. That's the way to think about it for me. Like, you aren't really losing any time because the alternative is you're getting up there slower. Like, you're still shooting the sticky at the same time and you're still detting the sticky at the same time. The only way you can, if you consider that a problem, the only way you can fix it is to become like a quick fire master where you can fire the sticky like as you're coming around the corner, like, you know, because you're not losing any time with that. It doesn't really matter too much. Do you know what I mean? Because the alternative, like the solution, as you put it, is to do the jump slower so that you can, you know, you don't have to wait. Like, it makes it look smoother. It looks a bit goofy, but ultimately, I don't think you're losing any time for that. The thoughts on not jumping for the very first jump. I don't understand why you would do that. Oh my god, can you not see the timer? Wow, that's AIDS of me. Hang on. You could have asked that earlier. Well, I guess you couldn't because I wasn't looking at anything related to chat whatsoever. I'm just going to ditch that for you right now, man. There you go. There you go, my man. Can't you use crossbow to heal the demo on the drop down? Bulk rollout. I suppose you could. Yeah, in that case you would have the reverse, like, because I said to only do this rollout for like a specific strat where you walk through house. So I guess in theory you could, but again, I guess it depends how much faith you have in your medic. Like, at that point, because you're gonna have to stand still and you're gonna have to trust that he hits you. Like, if it was Skeege, I'm just saying, I probably wouldn't do it because I don't trust Skeege to hit me with a crossbow. But if you have faith in your medic, then I guess that's a nice idea, bro, and you should. That's definitely one option you could try. I really should have. I've just kind of come to the realization I should have got someone to keep track of these fucking questions for me, and this is something I'll definitely do for next time, because I am like missing all of them. First jump is more important. Yeah, whoever said about not doing the jump in spawn, I really don't know why you would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. Like, I guess unless you're struggling with sticky placement, but even then, the time you lose by being here and walking here, I don't know. I don't really understand that question. I don't understand why you'd want to do that. The Legend of the Minute. Okay, yeah, that's a good question.